proudly supporting the Storytellers Campfire Literacy Program.
There's nothing else like it on the dial. Alternative Talk, 1150 AM.
Welcome back to Storytellers Campfire. You are joining us again in our Writer's Circle segment. And tonight our series is about not everyone is a writer, but everyone has a story to tell. And all the way from our campfire musicians that have joined us tonight, with Gene Tagaban and Peter Ali and George Snyder, who was brought on for his journaling, everybody is carrying the same theme. It's really important to preserve history, to preserve the stories of your life. And so we are going to reiterate that same topic with our next guest, RJ McHatton from Inventive Productions. Now, it might seem odd that we would invite a production company on the program. However, I think that the relevance will become clear as we move forward. Welcome to the Campfire, RJ.
Thank you very much for having me. It's awesome.
So I want everybody to know that you're also a supporter of Storytellers Campfire Literacy Program, and we've talked quite a number of times in between your running from here to Oregon and all over the place. But at first, I want you to tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Oh, great. I was born in Oregon, and I'm the oldest of 8 children, and I became a filmmaker in 1965 when I became the family filmmaker when my dad got us a Super 8 camera. So I've been doing filmmaking and all that kind of stuff ever since.
That's quite a while. Yeah, very nice, very nice. And I met one of your partners. Who was that at the Bellevue Arts Fair a few years back?
Maybe Bill Pear, possibly.
Yes. So is Bill up in Oregon now?
No, he lives over in Cle Elum, Washington.
Okay. So how long have you been with Inventive Productions, and what's the primary role that you're playing there?
We started the company about 5 years ago over here on the east side, and basically it's a company that specializes in video biographies. About half of our business is biographies of regular people like your dad or your mom, and the other half is company histories, videos or client testimonial type videos, but mostly autobiographical style videos.
Okay. And you've been involved in some very interesting productions you were telling me about, some historical ones as well.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I've done quite a few biographies of people like Jim Zorn, the coach of the Washington Redskins right now, but former Seattle Seahawks. Also a Medal of Honor recipient, Bud Hawk. And just recently we did the Legends of Aviation videos, which included Harrison Ford and the great aviator Bob Hoover, which was pretty cool.
Oh, wow. You really are having a good time doing this.
I have the best job in the world, I think.
I know one of our co-hosts, Randy, he'll love to talk with you. He definitely is into that type of history. So, Inventive Productions, you specialize in the service of recording people's personal history, part of the ancient oral storytelling tradition. And I wanted you to tell our listening audience a little bit about what is entailed in a person making a decision to go ahead and do that. How long does it take and things like that?
Basically, doing a biography is pretty simple these days with video camera. So a lot of times it's the kids or grandkids that actually will convince somebody to do their biography, because typically a lot of the older folks are really humble people, especially the World War II generation are just very humble people. But if their grandkids or their kids say, we need to get your story, then they really will go for it. But it usually takes somebody to nudge the story out of them. So then I'll come out there with the camera and I'll interview the people. It takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to interview a person's life, about their life story. I use about 124 questions that I've formulated over the years, specialized questions that help bring out the story of the folks. And so then what we'll do is we'll take that interview and we'll go back and then we'll take their photos and scan them all in and their home movies and digitize all those, and then we'll add music and graphics, and it turns it into a really nice movie like what you would see on the Biography channel.
Oh, wow. That's quite a... I didn't realize that you brought the pictures into it and the music. I didn't realize you did all of that part.
Absolutely. The artifacts, the photos, the home movies help tell the story as well.
Very
but we
nice.
use the person's voice. We use an autobiographical style, so you don't hear the interviewer. All you do is hear them telling their story about their life.
Well, you also told me a story, and I want you to share with our listeners because I was somewhat moved about one of the reasons you wanted to do this with your son. So would you share with us?
Sure. I'm the oldest of 8 children, and I was very close to my father, and he died back in 1990 of cancer and at a very young age. And then later, my wife and I, we couldn't have kids, so we adopted 2 children. But my son, he kept asking, tell me about your dad. Tell me about your dad all the time. And I just kept nudging myself. I says, I wish I would have sat my dad down and asked him the questions about his life. And so like now I started doing biographies for free for people. I started doing sort of a quest, a journey. So I started doing it for hospice down in Central Oregon. And then I did it for Habitat of Humanities and the geological societies. And now when I go visit people, I ask them stories about their life so they don't lose that voice. So like recently I went back and visited my uncles back in Pennsylvania, and all we talked about was my dad and his stories about his youth. And I videotaped them telling the stories, though.
It's a wonderful service that you're providing for people, and again, I can't stress enough the importance of getting those stories preserved for your children, for their grandchildren. Like you said, that was a motivating factor for you. You wish you had have asked all those questions, and we do. As we get older, we realize how important that is to us.
And the voice, and their mannerisms, and their laughter, and the way they talk, and their character. It's important to get that. And with video, you can capture a lot of that.
And I like the fact that that service is available, especially we were mentioning earlier, there are some people who physically cannot write, and they're not computer literate. And so this is a great alternative to preserving your history and letting your family know who you are. It's wonderful. It's an invaluable service that you're providing.
Oh, thank you. And also a lot of families, they have video cameras in their homes, so they should sit down and interview their grandparents.
Great. So tell our listening audience how they can find out more information about your services, and where can they go?
They can go to inventiveproductions.com. That's the easiest way, and we have lots of samples of different projects we've done. We do a lot of projects for nonprofits, and also we do a lot of veterans as well.
Okay, that's good to know. And also, as a reminder, storytellerscampfire.org, Inventive Productions will be on the Writer's Circle segment, and we're providing links to Inventive Productions as well. And I encourage people who are not going to be able to write a book, or they're not going to be able to journal, use a service like Inventive Productions, because this is another tool that we have in our modern day age of preserving the stories. Thank you so much for coming on the program, RJ.
Thank you very much.
And we're looking forward to seeing you later on in the year, but I won't tell people why yet.
Thank you.
Okay.